Hello everyone, ShinigamiNG here, and today is time for another Sea of Thieves tutorial. The Galleon, as you can see here, is the largest of the player usable ships. It is much larger than both the sloop and the brigantine. It has 2 decks below, and technically a third if you count this up here for the helmsman. The wheel is located up top towards the rear. There is 1 set of sails that you can control from the back. 3 sails total, or I'm sorry, 3 masts total, with numerous sails on each of the masts. There are 8 cannons on the Galleon, 4 on each side. The second sail controls are here at the bottom of the stairs, and the third are up towards the front, divided by a cannon, which is honestly kind of a pain sometimes when you're trying to drop the sails and then change the angle real quick. There are 4 lanterns at the front of the Galleon. 1 right here at the doorway to the captain's quarters. 1 inside the captain's quarters. And these are all visible from other players. There is also 1 here at the very back of the ship. At night, from a distance, you can see these lanterns from a very long distance away. The anchor is here towards the front of the ship and takes much longer to raise than either the sloop or the brigantine, especially with a solo player. The Galleon is not recommended for a solo player. Notice how long this is taking for me to raise this anchor. If you had a full crew of 4 players on the Galleon, this would go much quicker. As you can see, there are 4 posts on the anchor. You can play with less than 4, but the Galleon is the only ship that allows you to play with 4 players in a party. Let's go ahead and lower that back down. On the first deck, your cannonball barrels are back towards the left, each one coming with 15. So you start with the same amount of cannonball barrels and cannonballs as the brigantine, but 5 more than the sloop. Your wood barrel has 15 planks and is towards the back right. And your food barrel is right at the bottom of the stairs to the right with 15 bananas. Your grog barrel is here on the right as well, and your map table is right in the center. Your ammo chest is all the way at the front of the ship, underneath on the first deck, along with your armory. And your equipment chest, vanity chest, and clothing chest are all also up in this front section of your ship. These are not quickly accessible, so oftentimes in a battle, it is harder to run down here and get ammo, as opposed to on the sloop or the brigantine. On the bottom deck, we have the brig, more lanterns, and lots of storage space. The advantage of the Galleon in a firefight is if the bottom deck does not take holes, if there are no holes in this bottom deck, it will not start filling with water. And the bottom deck is not easily visible to other ships. The water line is actually right around where the second, or I'm sorry, not the water line, this line right here, which I guess is kind of the water line towards the front in the middle of the ship, is the second deck. So any shots that are up above don't start filling your ship with water. So it can be more difficult to sink a Galleon. This also makes your Galleon take a lot longer to start filling with water, and will take your Galleon longer to sink. The crow's nest is located on the middle mast, and as you can see, is much taller than both the sloop and brigantine. There are 3 sails along this middle mast, with a bell and a ship flag box up on top, just like the other 2 ships, although much taller. Lastly, the Galleon is the hardest to maneuver of all 3 ships currently. However, it does travel faster with the wind compared to the other ships. I have not been able to find any exact hard data on this, and it is hard to test without having other players to race with, which isn't always the easiest thing to do in the Sea of Thieves. But the Galleon supposedly is the slowest ship against the wind, but the fastest with the wind. Whereas the sloop is the opposite, being the fastest against the wind and the slowest with the wind. Because the Galleon has more sails, in theory can pick up more wind. The Brigantine, again, falling right in the middle with its mid-sized ship. Alright guys, that is all I have on the Galleon. Thank you guys for watching. ShinigamiNG out.